Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. And I'm joined here by superfan Devin Circus, and this is the week 3 recap of Jungle Talk. Can't clap. If you had told me that I'd be sitting here in week 3 and we have not blown the victory horn once yet this year, I mean, it's not even out. Um, just dumbfounded. Just see, neither one of us are in jerseys because if you can't force a fucking punt at home against this team, you don't get a jersey. It's just that it's literally that simple. So, I had notes I was going to email myself. I got first half stats, but I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Meaningless. The stats are meaningless.
Oh,
It was embarrassing. Look, they did everything right. We did absolutely nothing right. Cool. Jamar had a good game. Cool. Tease back. Cool. Eric all caught a couple passes, but that team is this season's over. It's done. It's done. I mean,
it's yeah.
you're gonna tell me you like us against Carolina next week and then Baltimore the following week? Tell me how we don't go 0-5 or even 1-4. It's
if
fucking
you
awful.
if you couldn't force a punt on this team at home and you couldn't force one punt, then how
Hmm.
can you go into Carolina after seeing what Andy Dalton did on the road in Oakland in Vegas yesterday? They'll always be the Oakland Raiders. They'll always be the San Diego Chargers. I
Right.
can't get away from
The
that. But
one
if you watch
the,
that, go ahead.
I was gonna say the one stat that is even more telling than anything. Jake saw this on Twitter at the very end. The 3rd and 5 that they had late before they kicked, I think when they kicked the field goal, whatever happened late, their last drive, they had a 3rd and 5.
Right.
That was the first time they had a third down longer than 2 yards, like the whole game.
Yeah. We had
I
them in a
mean, how
second
about the last drive? We said they got a penalty, then a sack. It's 2nd and 22.
and they
They picked
still
it up.
converted the first down. Yeah. No, I was gonna say they had a 2nd and 21 and we could not get off the
Yep.
field.
I'll
It's
give, if you want to talk a little bit X's and O's and whatnot, I'll give the D line a pass because they were without 2 starters. Trey was off and on a lot. I don't know what happened there. I mean, I hope he's okay. So I'll give the D line a pass. And frankly, Robinson and Eckler, yeah, they got their yards, but D line wasn't terrible. But the secondary was god awful. The
no.
secondary was absolutely god. Cam Taylor Britt had one of the worst games he's had as a pro. Dax Hill was awful. I didn't think the coverage on the McLaren touchdown was really, really bad. It wasn't great. I mean, you saw on the replay what he did. He bit at the marker, which makes
Right.
sense. It took a perfect pass and an unbelievable catch by McLaren, but he was awful. Pratt did a decent. Pratt and Logan Wilson were all over the field tonight, but the defense was awful. And I will tell you, it's not often. I don't know that I've ever said this. Joe Burrow was bad tonight. He was very, very bad.
Well, actually, Burrow was okay. The problem is he was playing from behind the entire game. So
He missed so many open receivers. He had so many receivers, balls thrown behind.
yeah, there
The
were
play
several
that I
balls. Yoshi bailed him out on a couple, all bailed him out on one.
the play
But
that I earmarked early was it was first half. I want to say first quarter. It might have been the second drive or the third. It was a third down play. He's rolling out. Zach Moss was wide open on the near sideline forever, and Burrow waited too long and then overthrew him. He underthrew guys. There was a pass to Jamar.
yeah, that's when we settled
Say
for a field goal.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. There were 2 of the field goals that we settled for. Now, there's nothing to say that we were definitely going to score, but there were 2 plays that I can think of off the top of my head that anybody has to complete, and Burrow missed on third down, causing field goals. Now, if you had the other game on at all, Trevor Lawrence doesn't even look like an NFL quarterback anymore, but
No,
that's another day. But
no,
Burrow
no,
was
no.
not good tonight. The stats are going to look good. Jamar looked great, but I mean, shit, we didn't punt either, but 3 field goals, or at least 2 made, 1 missed, and
Yeah.
um, they had 1 or 2 in a game with no punts and no turnovers. And
Yeah.
by the way, we talked about it. This is one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
Yeah. No, and I'm
They
not
got up
going to
the
be as
field.
hard on the offense as you are because we put up 33 points. The defense has to force a punt at home. You've got to get a stop. You've got to get off the field. Pratt actually had a horrible first half. I mean, he had a penalty on a negative play when they are at the goal line.
Yeah,
He had a
that was
second
bad.
and one. They would have had a 3rd and 3, and that got negated. Now I know the yardage was only up by a couple inches because they were
But
already
they got the down over.
but we had gotten Hilton had gotten through and made the tackle at the 3. So we're looking
Yep.
at a 3rd and 3, and maybe we, like I said, Pratt missed a couple tackles. He did force the fumble. We really needed him to fall on it. He had it for a
Yeah.
second and
He
then
kind of, it
didn't
looked like
have
he
it.
fell on, it looked like he landed on his arms and couldn't get him outstretched.
Yeah, and the ball like went, but that's something we just like couldn't. Like I said, I'm not gonna. The 2 point, there was a penalty on the 2 point conversion. Doesn't mean
I'm
we
sure
convert it
that'll
on
be
the
the
next
only,
play.
I'm sure that'll be the only takeaway on Twitter from all the
Oh
freaking
yeah. Well,
crazy
and
Bengals
McPherson,
fans.
they'll blame McPherson. So, but I hate it when Buck says, "Oh, missed field goal and the 2 pointer, that's the difference in the game." No, the difference in the game was we couldn't stop them. They gashed us. They were in third, second and short the entire game. And if this team misses the postseason, and there's only one team in NFL history that's ever
What do you mean
made,
if?
well, it ever made the postseason with three starting 0-3.
Wait, don't say it. Are you going to say who it was? Because we were talking about that earlier.
No, go ahead, tell me. I didn't look it
Do you
up.
know? Do you
No, I
know?
didn't look it up. I was going to, and then I didn't.
I think they went 0-3. They might have been 0-2, but I remember, and it was your era. I know you're a little older than me, but if I remember from being a kid, you'll remember. Do you remember the year Emmett Smith
Oh,
held
that's what
out?
it is. It's the Cowboys. Yes.
Yeah,
So Emmett Smith holds out,
held out, and he
and
came back and scored, ran for 220
right,
yards and 3 touchdowns on Monday Night Football. I'm pretty sure it's that team because I
yeah.
think that was the fourth game.
That was, and you know what? I remember that because Jerry Jones had dug his line in the sand. He wasn't going to pay him, and he wasn't going to pay him, and they went 0-3. And I'm not sure. You guys could check me and put this in the comments, but I believe it was a Monday night game against the Cardinals. The Cowboys lost to go 0-3, and Emmett was literally signed the next day. Showed up, and then the Cowboys, played really well and made the postseason.
I could be wrong, but I think his first game back was Monday Night Football.
Okay, then maybe I'm remembering that, but I know that they went 0-3. He was paid the next day, and if that's the team, so I have a feeling you're right on that. So, but no, this is just so I was going to say if I'm still going. Hey, there's history to be made. There's another game in the season, but if this team does not make the postseason, we have to clean house on coaches because there's absolutely no reason with this staff, the expectations going into this year that this team misses the postseason. It's just if
Yep.
it is, you have to. Lou has to go. Zach has to go. I mean, they just Quinn came in. They got out coached in week 1, and they got out coached again today.
Yep.
So I don't know how you can't defend it. 30, and I'm like I said, I'm not as going to be as harsh on the offense because 33 points at home should win you the game. 32, whatever we got. It was over 30. It's just unacceptable. So I don't know what else to. And you can't feel good about going into Carolina next week. How are we going to stop Baltimore? Don't we? Isn't Baltimore a Thursday night game?
Let's look. I'm not sure.
They
That
usually
sounds
make them
right.
division games because you have the short week, so you prepare against a team you play twice a year.
And
So
it's fair. There's less it's more fair when your team's in the same division.
yeah,
Let's see. I think you're right.
I think it's a Thursday night.
Baltimore's laughable thinking. No, it's not Thursday. It's week 5, right?
Yeah, week 5.
No, it's not a
Uh,
Thursday night game.
okay.
Yep, Sunday.
All
Sunday
right.
10.
So, I mean, how do you feel good about going into Carolina and winning and then coming home and beating Baltimore? I mean, we looked at the schedule and we thought, hey, we're going to be 3-1. We could be 4. I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm completely dumbfounded. Yeah,
We had a very realistic chance of being 5-1 um after week 6.
yeah.
And we could be we have to now win in Carolina and win in New York to go 2-4. because we're not going to beat Baltimore.
Right. So,
Time to start scouting the draft. Let's see who we're
well,
going to take in the
let's
top 10.
I don't want to be Heath's Chicken Little, but I'm telling you, we're getting close. We really are. It's this is I'm just shaking my head. I didn't have anything to drink during the game because I know we have to record and I'll drink afterwards. And I was hoping I'd be throwing back a shot right now of some top shelf liquor that I have in my cabinet. But as you can see, there's no booze out. There's nothing to celebrate. I give you
Had a good
kudos.
bottle of had a good bottle of tequila on Saturday.
What was the bottle of tequila you had?
Oh no, I gotta look it up. I knew you were gonna ask me and I forgot. Let's see.
Because I have Reserva 44. I got 1942. I've
It's one
got
of those. It's really good, but it's not. It's Casa Noble Reposado for
okay.
$50. It was great.
Oh,
I mean,
no, no. Listen, you get it. There's a lot of good $40 to $50 tequilas that you do not have to get up there. And don't buy Patron. That's a name. That's not a great tequila. It's okay. I mean, it's not Cuervo, but there's some really good stuff. I'm a big fan of Reposada. I'm not an añejo guy. I don't think it's worth the extra bounce to get to it. So
love
I'm more of a
Añejo.
Reposada
I
guy.
don't like Añejo. My take on that is if I want to drink something that heavy, I'll just go have a bourbon.
Yeah, exactly. You just go, okay, jump right to you want something top shelf, get McCallum 18. But you
Yeah.
know what? I live on McCallum 12. I'm fine with it. I don't know that, so
Have you
but
had Jordan's tequila? I love how we're not even talking football anymore. Now
well,
we're
what's to talk about? We
this
couldn't
is
force a
better.
punt.
This is better. We'll
I'd
probably get
rather
better
talk
later.
booze.
Have you had Jordan's tequila,
No,
Sincora?
no.
The best I've ever had. It's more expensive. We splurged for a special occasion. It's
Okay.
about $120 for the bottle. The smoothest. I drank it on the rocks all night. Absolutely incredible. Really cool bottle. Yeah, Sincora with all C's, and it's Michael Jordan's brand.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give that a try. So, well, I got to
Killer.
give you kudos because, Riley's roommate went to sleep. So that's why he couldn't record. We don't usually get Jake for the recaps. And then, with Heath, boy, he would have already been shutting down shop. He would have been saying, okay, give bro the rest of the year off, recover your wrist another year. But I just like I said, I like everybody watching the show, I'm just shaking my head going, I cannot believe we're 0-3, given the schedule we had to start
Yep.
the year. It's just
Yep.
so it is what it is. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Listen, even in bad times, we are here. Devin and I are looking at the screens. We'd rather be drinking right now, and we will be drinking as soon as we finish this recording. But we come here, we do the previews, the recaps. So please hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up. It helps us out with the YouTube analytics, and we'll be back with the preview for the Carolina game. It'll be interesting to see what the Jake's got up to say, but and he'll have to say something about today. We can't talk in 3 days and not talk about this game again, but we'll have had some time to kind of process I feel like a victim of a violent crime. I'm just like shocked. I need time to process what you just subjected me to, having to watch that. I just
And the worst part about it is, Greg, the Commanders game wasn't a lineup fourth place versus fourth place. We're playing that whole division, but we've now lost to two fourth place teams last year. We lost to the
oh yeah,
Commanders, the
yeah.
Patriots. Patriots loss was a lined up loss, fourth versus fourth. But I mean, we just lost two of our two gimmies.
Yeah. Oh no. Good teams win the games they're supposed to win. And we just showed you we're not a good team because we didn't win either of those games. I mean, we should be 2-1 and we're not. And
All right, here's the last thing we'll do.
go ahead.
Guess the spread. Bengals at Carolina. I haven't looked. If you've looked, don't say.
I haven't looked. I would say we're on the road. And you know what? I would say we're probably maybe a slight favorite just because people say you can't keep losing, you can't keep losing, but it's only going to be maybe 2 or 3 points. I
I
can't.
was gonna say 1.5 or two. I'll go two. I say Bengals -2.
Do you want to look it up?
Let's see if it's up.
It's not going to be up on my site. You're in Arizona, so gambling's legal. Here, I have to use an offshore site, shall we say. A site I
Uh,
was gambling on before it was legal. that we're still forced to use because California can't figure out how
I'm,
to tax it.
I'm really surprised. 4.5.
4.5. That's going to come down.
That'll come down.
That's going to come down because if we go into Carolina, if Dalton plays like he did in Vegas on yesterday, if Dalton plays like that, and the Bengals will be lucky to get a field goal win. So right now, giving me that bet, I would take Carolina in the 4.5. I mean, I haven't seen that. Well, Chuba Hubbard's going to run right through it. Like I said, we couldn't stop the run at all.
What were the number? How many? Because I don't think Robinson. I mean, Daniels killed us. I don't think Robinson killed us, right?
Um, no, but they got, you know what? We talk about situational football all the time. They got the yards when they needed them.
Correct. Yeah,
And
you know what's funny? They only had 100 yards rushing. They only had 108 yards rushing. They
didn't it
really
seem like a whole lot more?
it felt like a boatload more. But
Yeah.
Daniels, by the way, here's the number one takeaway. Jaden Daniels is 21 of 23 for 254.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two incomplete.
Yeah. Why did it take us late in the third to start blitzing? I mean, what are we doing? Like I said, I question the coaching on this. Anarumo coached a horrible game.
But it didn't do anything when we did.
We rushed him a couple times, but we missed tackles. Like I said, this was just
The middle of the field was, and I'm not smart enough on defensive coverages, and maybe I don't know if we want to talk anymore on this on Thursday. That's Jake's expertise, but the middle of the field was wide freaking open all night. I mean, the key play, the first down that they got on the series where we had the sack and it was 2nd and 22.
right. That was after the penalty. Yeah.
I mean, Buck and Aikman are talking about how Ertz was double teamed. There was nobody within 5 yards of him.
Yeah.
They killed us in the middle of the field. I mean, I don't know that Luke McCaffrey had more than 2 receptions on the year, and he had a freaking great game. I mean, only 3 for 44. That felt like a lot more too.
No, everything felt like more because we couldn't get off the field. That's what happens on games where you never force a punt. A visiting team comes in your stadium and you never get off the field. I just, it was just,
we have an interesting streak going now.
what's that?
2 straight teams have given up a big man touchdown.
Oh yeah, that was the. I just, you just shake your head. You sit there and you just, what else do you say? You just kind of go, really? I mean,
you know what you say, Mark?
what?
Because there's not many people. There's not many people that I've met in my life that are not from Ohio that have been Bengals fans longer than me. I think you're the only one.
Yeah.
You know what you say, and my vote is to wrap on this. Why can't we have nice things?
We can't. I know why. I ask that question all the time. Why not us? But so
nope.
Well, we will be back. Please support the channel. It's all we ask. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up for us on YouTube. We'll be back with the preview. Hopefully we're maybe blowing the victory horn but I don't know. Like I said, right now I take the 4.5 in Carolina if I was betting that game. So, because if we win, it's going to be by a field goal. Like I said, I need to get this to process. As Bengal fans, it hurts. Go throw one back, and we'll go from there. So
we pull up 2025 draft.
Yeah, we can. Well, we're gonna in a couple weeks. We go 1-4. We're gonna start talking draft because it's yeah, no. Oh,
all righty, sir.
Well, I appreciate you being available so we could talk about this misery. Maybe therapy, maybe you feel a little better when we hang up.
I didn't want to admit it after the Pats game, but I actually did, and I do now. So
yeah, no, I'm telling you, this is how I started in 2015. I was on a channel called the AFC Northerners, and I was the Bengals guy. And I can't tell you how many times at the end of the show I felt better because we talked about it. I was able to kind of go, oh, okay, and so it's a reason why therapy does work. And so people always say, how'd you get started doing this? That's how I got started doing this. Marvin Lewis drove me to start doing this and not winning a playoff game. So please subscribe, please support the channel. We'll be back. Devin, we will see you. We'll be going to be joining us on Thursday. We'll talk after we're off the air. So and I'm going to say hoot everybody and keep your heads up. Take care.